Hello, I am Rob,
I'm Tony.
and we're here to talk about the types of combat you'll see at Drachenfest US. The first type of combat you most likely will see at Drachenfest will be technical fighting. Now, this is the fighting that's closest to competitive fighting or fighting to win. Technical combat is usually conducted at the lightest touch level, so nothing too hard,
Ow.
nothing.
Ow.
You're not supposed to say "ow." That was normal. That was a normal hit, and is not supposed to injure, bruise, or harm your opponent in any way. While shots should have a bit of swing to them, they can be mostly direct and can sometimes be more traditionally thrown shots. That being said, rapid fires are usually not allowed in these types of games.
They count as one hit if you get rapid fire.
Okay.
Typically. So the next type of combat you'll see in Drachenfest commonly is theatrical combat, where competitive will take a second seat to making sure that you are uplifting the other player, and hopefully they'll be doing the same to you.
In the Champions Tournament, theatrical combat was exclusively used, in which victory was not obtained by outwitting or striking your opponent more times than they struck you. It was actually given based on your performance in the fight. Those whose performance during the battle was admirable and in some ways greater than the others would advance, rather than who simply struck who down. That being said, theatrical combat can occur in large technical battles. Should two people feel the need, the rise, the bravado, should they feel the need, theatrical combat can occur. A specific example I remember was during the final battle, in which many people, hundreds of people were on the field, and yet the leader of the Fighters Guild and the Jarl Logain engaged in a theatrical fight in which the Jarl struck his opponent down and was victorious. In fights where it's not mandated to be theatrical, where you are being theatrical improvisationally, those are usually determined by either A, a conversation on the side, or B, during the flow of the battle naturally, in which one will yield to the other based on the other's performance, admiration, logic. It could be any number of fights, but if Tony and I are in the middle of a technical fight and we begin theatrically fighting, then perhaps Tony yields a good strike on me that I think would fell me, and I take my death because logically or emotionally or, because I truly enjoyed Tony's strike on me so much. I think that even though we were playing up each other, Tony has won.
I'm going to describe this as having three different levels to theatrical combat, one of which is purely your weapons. You play up your strikes, you make big sounds, you make big strikes, etc. The next two, I would say you want to make sure that both you and your partner have some experience in it, and definitely helping to know your fight partner will help, which is that you can also throw fake strikes,
melee strikes with your arms and legs.
Yeah. So if I were to punch Rob, I'd mark and then.
It is recommended that if you are wearing some kind of medal or gauntlet, you drop them so that just in case you do accidentally strike your opponent, it is not metal or hardened leather or something potentially dangerous.
And then the next one, which is something that you should double check before you engage in, is grappling. Say I want to drop to the ground, I'll come in, I'll do one of these, gently.
Always get consent before physically grappling. It is something that is allowed without prerequisite in some of the other games we played, such as Dagger Hero Hearthlight, where If you have the advantage on someone, you can grapple them. You can grab their weapon arm or their weapon or themselves and take them down, obviously still safely. In Drachenfest, while grappling is a part of the theatrical combat, it is something that really should be agreed upon consensually before the fight has begun. A good example was during a fight between two people. One of them literally told the other one, take me down. And then they were taken down. But during the fight, while they were fighting and going around, they specifically said, take me down, come on, take me down, in a way that their opponent heard, but not everyone else heard. Kind of almost like in a WWE style hinting or cue.
And now we're going to give you a short theatrical bow. You kind of see the differences between the technical, where you didn't have to play up your strikes as much. There wasn't any grappling, etc. So enjoy watching me kick Rob's ass.
So that was a general look at how Drachenfest combat can look and feel and be and act. For the specifics, once again, really go check the rulebook, read everything through. It'll give you the breakdown on the hit points, the areas, armor points, the types of weapons that are specifically allowed, what brands. For any and all specific questions, always go check the rulebook or reach out to a Drachenfest US official, someone that can answer your questions directly. But we hope that this gave you a good idea of what combat can look like and if this combat might be a good fit for you.
Remember to uplift your fellow player.
Remember to uplift. Anything else? When it comes to the combat in Drachenfest, I personally found it very fulfilling, very fun, and despite the fact that it was a little bit lighter in force, it was still fun enough for me to get technical, use the things that I've learned, as I mentioned before, and come out on top with the expertise and the skills, but also have a great time in the theatrical stuff if I was losing. As you can see, it's quite a ride. It's very fun. It's really awesome to be a part of a theatrical fight. Whether you win, whether you lose, whether the consequences are dire, whether they're just for fun. It's such a great thing that if you're someone like us that came from Bob for Sport that really want to focus on the technical fighting, we really recommend everyone at least once try some kind of theatrical duel or battle or fight in some way. You may find that you, as we have, really enjoy it. Bye.